Here comes the heart of the Scorpion, so pay attention to what your body is telling you. And now, your weekly Mansions of the Moon Signs Horoscope from the 1st to the 7th of August 2022. Mansion of the Moon Signs Waxing Crescent Moon. August 1st to 4th, we have a waxing half moon at 11:07 a.m. on August 5th, and a waxing gibbous moon from the 6th to the 7th. And it transits through Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, and Sagittarius. We're using tropical astrology and universal time coordinated. Now use projective imaginings, pictures, films, advertising, or magic during a waxing crescent half and gibbous moon, with Scorpio's heart coming up on the waxing half moon. So get ready to turn those "don't tread on me" snake flags created by Christopher Gadsden in 1775. Turn them upside down for a day. Pay attention to your body, or it will begin to scream at you. Because when the 18th mansion comes along, you have to put the head below the feet, or put the tail above the head. Turn that flag upside down, because the rattlesnake, it has to have its tail above its head and stretch out the abdomen. Otherwise, it'll cause you to become feverish and get stomach upsets. And that's coming up, and we're going to key you in on that, and we're going to let you know all about how you can help yourself and make it so that you can actually use it to benefit your health. Now, here is your daily Lunar Mansion Magic Angels and Lords astrology guidance for a week of August 1st to the 7th. On August 1st, we have a Virgo waxing crescent moon in Lunar Mansion number 14 at 03:29 hours. Find healing of ailments and curses for sickness. Favors married couples. Good for voyaging on the water. Bad for journeys on the land. Beware the image of a dog chasing and biting his tail, for it causes divorce and separation of the man from the woman. From Virgo's ear of corn in the constellation of Virgo the Virgin, with lunar angel Urgediel and Lord Urdigal. This was in a Frasier episode when Eddie was chasing and biting his tail in the beginning of the show. And then later on, Daphne thought that Niles was in love with a psychiatric patient that was in love with him. And they almost broke up. But the show showed you, it helps because it shows you how to not have that turn into a breakup. Okay? So these shows aren't always using these things for bad. Most of the time they're using them to help you. August 2nd, Libra waxing crescent moon in Lunar Mansion number 15 at 04:05 hours. Find profit from finding and obtaining hidden riches, evacuation of burrows, okay? And you can also excavate treasures. It's actually very good for legal separations. It's excellent for divorce, those kinds of things. If you're trying to get a divorce proceedings to go through, it's good for that. And powerful for causing conflict. So those that are trying to cause conflict, for good or bad, this is when it's done. So you can protect yourself against it if you know it's happening. And remember, they usually put the images out usually about 11 days before. Okay? 11 is a magical number. It has to do with the solar cycles. Okay? So about 11 days before. Sometimes, it's different, but usually about 11 days before. And then it manifests in the physical world. Okay? Also, valuable for annihilation of dwellings, eradication of opponents, though terrible on voyages. So don't go on voyages on the 2nd. And after that, it manifests physically on the days I'm giving you. Okay? But they usually put the images out about 11 days prior to. But it usually manifests on the days that I'm giving you in the physical world in some manner. Okay? Now, use the image of a woman or a man or yourself, okay, sitting and drawing letters on a paper or parchment, okay? For this representation causes familiarity, alliance, support, and friendliness. From one that is cloaked or covered while flying in the constellation of Libra the Scales, pointer star in Virgo, with lunar angel Ataliel and Lord Achalich, okay? So anytime they use the word cloaked or covered, they're using this. I watched a show for the first time yesterday called, I think, Making Love. I can't remember. My husband showed it to me for the first time, and they use this cloak or covered in the first episode that I saw. I'll get the name for you. I can't remember it right now. Okay, now, August 3rd, Libra, Waxing Crescent Moon in Lunar Mansion number 16 at 04:15 hours. Be mindful of circumstances where you're going to have obstacles or encumbrances or some kind of blockage when going on a journey. Getting married, so you could have also an encumbrance for the journey, or encumbrance for getting married, or doing business, or reaping crops or rewards. Though, this mansion is good for vindicating confined people. So people that are confined or imprisoned can find liberation. Okay, so it's good for that. Now, good to use a picture of a man sitting on a chair while grasping a weight, balance, or pair of scales in his hand, for it causes abundance of sales and goods from promotions and displays. So merchandising. From the horns of the scorpion, which used to be part of a larger constellation, an astrological scorpion, in the more modern constellation of Libra, the scales. In the ancient times, it was part of a bigger scorpion, and now it's Libra, yeah? So you see how it works. With the lunar angel is Azeruel, according to Agrippa, with an E, Azeruel with an E, according to Agrippa, and according to Warnock, it's Azaruel with an A, okay? And the Lord's name is Azeruch, okay? Like Ruach, like the Ruach in Kabbalah, that's the personality, okay? It's a portion of one of your subtler bodies, other than the physical body, okay? Now, this mansion, what we were just speaking of, is something where it would have someone holding some kind of a scale or a weighing measurement. It was used in the movie Casino, okay? And in that movie Casino, the main character was holding a weight machine that was measuring dice, okay? It was measuring dice for the craps table, okay? So that when he shoot craps, it would come out in a proper way, because he was managing the casino, okay? So they were using this mansion. It's good for merchandising. It's good for promotions. So Robert De Niro was playing the head character, and his wife, and girlfriend and wife was Sharon Stone played his wife and girlfriend in that movie. It was a very interesting, it was a good movie, it was very entertaining. On the 4th of August, we have Libra Waxing Crescent Moon goes to Scorpio Moon, so the end of Libra, it's the beginning of Scorpio, in Lunar Mansion number 17 at 03:58 hours. Valuable to turn unfortunate events into fortunate ones. So it's good to turn bad luck into good fortune. It causes romance and love to become strong and powerfully felt, strengthens structures, and is lucky for sailors. Use a picture or a figurine of a primate, monkey, or gorilla to guard yourself and those you care for against burglars, muggers, and intruders from the crown of the scorpion, or the crown of Scorpio. When the astrological scorpion was larger, being 60 degrees instead of 30 degrees, the stars of this mansion now span from the end of the constellation of Libra, the scales, to the beginning of the constellation of the modern Scorpio, the scorpion, with lunar angel Adriel and Lord Adrieb. Okay? Now, August 5th, waxing half moon. This is when your waxing half moon comes up. It's also called a first quarter moon in Scorpio at 11:07 a.m., several hours after the waxing crescent moon moves into lunar mansion number 18 at 03:10 hours. This is lunar mansion 18. This is the heart of the Scorpio, where you have to be mindful of your health. You got to turn that upside down, okay? Stand on your head, whatever. Do the kind of yoga positions where you get your legs over your head and stretch out the stomach. More backwards, not forward, backwards. You want to stretch out the stomach, okay? So you don't get fevers and so you don't get stomach upsets. People before this mansion, they push and push and push and push their bodies, and then they get sick. So understand that, okay? Or they have something, or they might get a little injury or something. So you want to prevent that. Okay, now, find freedom if you are a captive, okay? It's a good day to strengthen your edifices. Take heed of revenge from enemies on the 5th. A transit full of threats, menace, this is what you do, dissension, uprisings, and schemes against monarchs. Put the legs above the head, stretch out the stomachs, as these people are doing, okay? Okay? So it's when there's threats, menace, dissension, uprisings, and schemes against monarchs and powerful people, okay? Use a picture or figurine of a snake holding its tail above its head to stave off fevers and stomach upsets. From the heart of the Scorpion in the constellation of Scorpio the Scorpion with lunar angel Agibiel and Lord Egribel, okay? Now, again, that don't tread on me flag, okay? Turn it upside down on that day, because if you're looking at it, because otherwise it'll make it, if you look at it on that day, you'll push and push and push, and you'll end up getting a fever or stomach upset or some kind of small injury or something, okay? Don't look at that flag on that day, or really before that day. You should look at it upside down. And there's a movie that was used this in the opening scene, and you can go on YouTube and look opening scene, and the name of the movie is Sukiyaki Western Django, and it's 2007 movie, a Quentin Tarantino movie. I love all Quentin Tarantino movies. He's my favorite. It's a Japanese style spaghetti Western film. And it's for Lunar Mansion number 18 at Gibbous. It's a snake and an egg in the beginning opening scene. Go on YouTube and look at Sukiyaki Western Django, and it'll opening scene, and you'll see the snake and the egg, and it's a Gibbous. That's this, okay? And at that one part, I think the snake's going downhill a little bit, so the tail's above the head. As far as I remember I did see that movie, okay? All right, August 6th, Scorpio, waxing Gibbous Moon to Sagittarius Moon in Lunar Mansion number 19 at 0150 hours. That's 0150 hours. And then Sagittarius waxing Gibbous Moon moves into Lunar Mansion number 20 at 2356 hours. So you've got two mansions of the moon in one day on the 6th, okay? Now, number 19, first at 0150 hours, we have the 19th lunar mansion in the wee hours of the morning. Find successful hunting and plowing of fields, profitable for pillaging urban centers and making war. A transit that causes sorrow, devastation, defeat, and displacement. Use a picture or a figurine of a woman holding her hands upon her face and covering her eyes to induce birthing or child, if you want to induce labor. Show a picture of a woman covering her eyes with her hands. They use this in some, I've gone to people's synagogues, and they do that. They have the lady stand up and go like this with the flame and cover the eyes. That's this mansion. Now, it's good if you want to cause childbirth, but it can also cause a blood moon, okay? It can cause a woman to bleed when she shouldn't. And if you remember, down, around the earlier 2000s, like 2007, around 2008, they showed the Statue of Liberty doing that, holding her hands in front of her eyes, and America was bleeding at that time financially, 2008. That's how it's used, okay? It causes that type of bleeding. Or it can, it may be a type of birth as well. Might not have been all bad. From the tail of the Scorpion in the constellation of Scorpio the Scorpion, spanning to the beginning of Sagittarius with lunar angel Amutiel and Lord Anusel. Number 20, late at night on the 6th, a transit advantageous for the taming of feral animals and the strengthening of the cages in which you keep them. Also a profitable mansion in which to annihilate the riches of cronies and acquaintances also forces a person to arrive at a prearranged location. Use a depiction of a half-man, half-horse, also named a Sagittarius or a Centaur, to guarantee the success of a hunting party. From the crossbar of the bow and arrow of the Sagittarius, in the constellation of Sagittarius the Archer with lunar angel Kyriel and Lord Quahuk. Quahuk is the Lord. And then, on August 7th, we have a waxing crescent moon in lunar mansion number 21 at 2131 hours, profitable for reaping of crops or herds, going on journeys, awful for relationships, causes separation and malevolence. Beware the picture or statue of a man with two faces, one looking to the right and one looking to the left, for this icon causes the annihilation of someone chosen by the magician. Now, that is also the god Janus, and it's used in before some movies. You'll see it because it's a name of a production company, okay? Now, some people, think, well, it's just the god Janus. It's beginning and endings. It's the god of January, and that's true too. But so it can be used just as a doorway, not always for evil, it's like to welcome the new year and get rid of the old year, to go through a gateway. But it can be used to destroy a person specifically chosen by the magician. So just understand that. It can be used for good or evil, as all things can be used for good or evil. From the desert of Sagittarius, the archer, with lunar angel Bethnael and Lord Bektu. Now, I'd like to name some important books that I think are indispensable, that you must have. The first one is Picatrix, and its authorship is attributed to Maslama al-Majriti. Picatrix. I believe Renaissance Astrology has an edition of that. Check out Renaissance Astrology, and I think they have published a version of Picatrix. I think so. Well, I'm not positive, but I think so. Okay? And also Henry Cornelius Agrippa, 3 books of occult philosophy by Llewellyn, and also the book The Mansions of the Moon. I use it every day. The Mansions of the Moon, a lunar zodiac for astrology and magic, published by Renaissance Astrology and written by Christopher Warnock. And it has the lunar mansion ephemeris. It has all sorts of wonderful things in that book. You learn so much from this book. You have to have this book. I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel. Thanks for joining us. See you next week.